Hi everyone, this is Eldad Amara. This is part 2 about decalcifying the pineal gland. Now I've done part 1. I suggest you go back and look at part 1 before you come to part 2, because I'm not going to go back and recap over this information. Now, I've talked about how you can decalcify the pineal gland, certain foods that you can eat in order to decalcify your pineal gland, and certain things that you should avoid. Now this is part 2. I'm going to go into this in a little bit more depth. The third eye sits right in the middle between these two eyes areas, so like an inner eye. Okay, it's called the third eye, and it's linked to something called the pineal gland. The pineal gland is about the size of a pea, all right, about the size of a green pea. And that pineal gland, if it's active, you should be able to see into the spiritual world. Now, some people, we've all been born with this capability of being able to see, right, with our spiritual eye. But sometimes with some people, what happens is that, just say, the pineal gland gets calcified. It gets calcified through things like alcohol, drinking alcohol, right, which can also put your system off balance. Okay, and alcohol is also a sort of thing that causes you to hallucinate and stuff. Okay, you've also got cigarettes that can calcify the pineal gland. What else have you got? You've got water. Now, a lot of us drink tap water, and that tap water is not good for you, right? Because it contains fluoride, and fluoride is a mind suppressant. Our toothpaste as well is a mind suppressant, so taking toothpaste and clean your teeth with that is no good, right? Now, you can find alternative toothpaste, yeah, and mouthwash that don't contain fluoride in it. Okay, so go look on the internet for these things. What else can cause that third eye to be calcified? I'll tell you what: newspapers, TV, magazines, radio. You see, people tend to listen a lot to the news, and quite a lot of the things that come on the news are quite negative. It's quite negative, so that's going to throw you off. That's going to throw your mind off, because you're thinking about other things other than thinking about yourself and trying to raise your vibration. You see, the news and newspapers usually have things in them that make you feel anxious. It's all about fear, anxiety, and obeying the system. So please put down the newspapers, put down the magazines, okay, and stop using these things, because they are going to distract you and cause you to lock down. And if you're locked down, it means that your frequency is also locked down, and you want to try to raise your vibration. And to raise your vibration, you need to be thinking positively. Now, things like doing meditation is very important, because meditation helps you to relax, it helps you to focus, it helps you to concentrate. That means that you're using less energy. Now, that is going to help you to open up your third eye, because you are concentrating on just one task. Now, this one task may be focusing on a cone. It could be a glass of water, it could be a candle, and you sit there and you focus on this one thing, okay, and not have your mind racing, going all over the place. That will help to open up your third eye. What else? The breath. People don't realize just how important the breath is. The breath is extremely important, because it is our main life cycle. You can do without food for days. In actual fact, you can do without food for weeks. You can do without water for a long time. But you try holding your breath for longer than 30 seconds and see what happens. You start to black out. You will start to black out. So, it's very important that you breathe correctly. Most people breathe either from their mouth or they breathe from their chest when they should be breathing from the diaphragm or from the base of their spine. Taking in nice, deep, slow breaths. And that will help to relax you. This will help to make you focused. And this will also help to make you much more relaxed. And once you're in that relaxed state, it is much more easier to open up that third eye. Now you can do meditation in places such as in your home, where it's nice and quiet. Find a quiet room and sit and do some meditation. You could go and do it in the fields where you feel closer towards nature. You could go and do it on the beach. Okay? You can go and meditate on the beach. It's very important as well to take off your shoes and your socks and ground yourself. Right? Ground yourself in the sand or in the earth. Because once you're grounded, it will help to settle your energy. And also, it will help to charge certain organs within the body through grounding yourself. So it has a lot of benefits. Another thing you should be doing is fasting. I fast once every 3 months. I don't touch no alcohol. I don't touch no dairy products. Right? I don't smoke. Right? So all of these things, get rid of them. For that week, you want to be just concentrating on eating green leafy plants. You want to also concentrate on eating things like fruits and vegetables. You want to drink spring water as opposed to tap water. You see, once you start fasting, it starts pushing out a lot of toxins and waste. And that includes even the toxins that's surrounding your pineal gland. So once you start fasting, you will start to see the benefits within a couple of days of fasting. Right? It helps to detox your system. It helps to get rid of waste. It will also help to sharpen the mind, because I find that once I start fasting, my mind's much more quicker. I don't feel so bloated like when I'm eating meat, for example. It tends to make me feel bloated. So the benefits of fasting are detoxing the system, helps you to think much more quickly, it stops you from being bloated, and you can also help, and it can also help you to lose weight. I want to go back and show you a diagram. I want to show you a diagram about these chakras. Let me try and get this thing in focus. Let me try and get this in focus. Okay. You have seven chakras. Hi guys. Now I want to quickly show you this. Let me try and see if I can get this in focus. Let me see if I can get this in focus. Okay. You've got things called a chakra. Okay. The chakra. And there are 7 chakras altogether. There are 7 chakras all together. Okay. And you got first the root chakra, then the sacral chakra, then the solar plex chakra, then the heart chakra, then the throat chakra, then the third eye chakra, and then the crown chakra. Some people, when they're doing the chakras, they do from the top to the bottom, but I think it's important to do from the bottom to the top, simply because you're trying to work your way up through each one of these energy centers, these will-like centers. You want to try to work your way up through each one. Hopefully you can activate your third eye, which is your pineal gland. You need to secrete that. Now you got something as well you got something as well, which is called melanin. Now at night, your pineal gland and your brain and the rest of your body will be secreted with something called melanin. Some people say this melanin is something that helps you on your spiritual path. This hormone. Some people say that this hormone, melanin, helps to secrete the pineal gland and the rest of the body. So at night, you go into that spiritual world. Okay? So melanin is linked to the spiritual world also. Now, as I say, you're trying to get to that sixth chakra, the third eye. And in order for it to be activated, you need to take certain types of food. Yeah? And you've got to mind your environment. And you've got to do things like meditation and also breathing exercises. And what else? You've got to do things like fasting, as I mentioned a bit earlier on. Right? Now, when you open up that eye, you will be able to do some of these things. Some of the benefits of having that third eye open are things like clairvoyance. Right? Clairvoyance is a claimed psychic ability to gain information about an object, a person, location, physical event through extrasensory perception. You can also have things such as clairaudience. The definition of clairaudience: the power to hear sounds said to exist beyond the reach of ordinary experience or capacity, as the voices of the dead, for example. Intuition: the ability to understand something instinctively without need for conscious reasoning. For example, we shall allow our intuition to guide us. There's something also called telekinesis. Telekinesis is a hypothetical psychic ability allowing a person to influence a physical system without physical interaction. So you can move things with your mind, in other words. So when your third eye is open, all these things you are capable of. And there's also something called telepathy, from ancient Greek. Tele means distance, and pathos or pathia means feeling or perception. So telepathy, the purported vicarious transmission of information from one person's mind to another without using any known human sensory channels or physical interaction. So you don't need to use things like your mobile phone. When you're highly in tune and you're speaking to someone else who's highly in tune, you can speak mind to mind. You don't need no wires. You don't need no telephone, no cables or anything like that. Now, the whole point in trying to decalcify your pineal gland is to try and reach that God gland, or the spiritual gland, some people call it. And then, once you reach that sixth chakra, is to try and reach to the crown chakra. And the crown chakra makes you one with God. It makes you one with nature. When you reach that seventh chakra, you become like a god. Not a god. Not the god, sorry. You become like a god, not the god. You will have contact with the universe. It's like the universe is speaking to you. And that intuition, you're just doing things without thinking about it. That is one of the greatest gifts that you can have. But let me say a downside. Once you open up this third eye, there's no going back. You cannot close that third eye. And you should be doing things as well to protect yourself, because when you go into that spiritual world, there are entities out there, man. There's entities out there that can do you all kinds of things. So you got to have some kind of psychic defense. But once that third eye is open, you can't close it. So be mindful. If you want to know about the foods again, I'll mention some of them which will help you to decalcify that third eye. There's raw cacao or almond cacao, salmon, walnuts, avocados, purple grapes, purple kale, blueberries and blackberries is really good as well. I'm telling you. Eggplant and purple sweet potato. There's other things to add to the list here, but go back to my first video and you'll see where I've added on a few more things. Anyway, this is Eldad and Amara, and if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe and share. And please, if you share my videos with other people, it will help the YouTube's algorithms to put my video out to much more of a wider audience. Thank you anyway. Eldad and Amara.